Hello everyone and welcome to the Big Blue Crystal. I'm just waiting for my sister to log in because she's with me tonight because both of us are pretty excited. Oh, here she is. Both are very excited about the interview with Coulthart and David Grusch, which aired a week ago regarding, oh, hello, Kerrie, everyone. This is my sister, Kerrie. So with David Grusch, and it was aired on News Nation a week ago. Unfortunately, the video has been taken down from YouTube, and I'm not sure where or when it's going to be shown again. But I think that probably a lot of you are aware of what's happened. Kerrie's with me today because this has been something that we've been waiting for a very, very long time. Kerrie loves her Lost in Space, and I love my Star Trek, but also we have had some experiences in our family, and that's what I'm going to ask Kerrie about. Kerrie, that time when we were in Inaloo and we were kids out the back, and the lights, what did you see that night? Oh, hang on, Kerrie, you need to unmute. You need to unmute. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you. Okay, yep, start again.
Back in the days of swinging on the Hills hoist in the backyard. What happened? I don't really remember very much. I know it was dusk, and I think we had a set of swings out the back, and there were some lights over in the backyard in the sky, and I can remember seeing them and knowing as a child they weren't right. And I remember running inside screaming, and I left you out there.
Yeah, I remember that bit. I remember I was looking up in the sky, and I can't remember whether I saw them or not, but I can remember doing the bolt. Both of our brother Mark was in there as well. And
yeah, it was really quite scary. You knew they weren't real. Well,
yeah,
that you knew what they were. They were unknown.
Yeah.
So,
and then
there was another time.
Yeah, Hastings Street.
Yeah. No, before Hastings Street, there was another one which was when we were the same address. But the lights in the sky, I remember those a lot clearer. Must have been summer. There was a lot of it was dark, and there were groups of orange lights over a number of nights. And it wasn't just us that saw them, it was the neighbours. And also in those days it was identified by a writer for the West Australian, and there was an article in the paper about it because she had witnessed the same lights because they were showing up over a number of nights. So it wasn't just us in the street, it was a legit journalist that wrote about them as well. There was another time in Hastings Street where a huge cigar-shaped object was going over the ocean, and that was witnessed by myself and my mother, and that was absolutely massive.
My mother
Since
too.
then, though, no. Your mother. Is it?
Yeah.
Is she? Yeah. So that was probably the last time that I've seen lots.
Yeah, because I remember Auntie Jeannie when she saw the ship go into Lake Joondalup. So like
right.
We're in Western Australia, so in Lake Joondalup. But anyway, so it has been a part of our family, and this interview and this whistleblower interview is very different to all the jibber jabber that's been going on for many years regarding UFOs. So I'm going to do a quick reading on the energy of disclosure, and if we're going to finally see some movement. I know that that's if people don't know that because of this interview, it has a lot of people are starting to take pay attention, and there will be hearings coming up in the next 6 months. So hopefully we get some sort of movement
in the American government.
Yeah. So if anyone, if you're in America, I think you can still access the video on the News Nations app. But I know that Ross Coulthart does have the rights, and hopefully the media is going to pick this up, because we've only seen very small snippets in our local news here in Australia, which is just pathetic. This is just major news. This is major news. Okay. So can you please tell me about the energy of the interview with David and Ross? And of course, I have to mention Bryce Stable as well, who has put a lot of work into this interview. But I'll, if I remember, I'll find the links to Need to Know YouTube and also Need to Know podcast on Spotify. So I've just sort of done a little pass card. Oh, dearie me. Okay. Kerrie, while I'm shuffling, have you got your internet on? You got your browser up?
No.
Okay. Yep, there's a lot of the first card that I pulled, actually, I'll show you now. First, this is the Devil card has come up. That little toxic, that to me is just so toxic government stuff to me. Yeah, there's all the people all holding this information back.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah. I've got the Hierophant here. That's now the government. Oh, look at this little guy pleading. Listen to me. Listen to me. But we've also got here, to me, this is the, it's sort of like a Page of Pentacles. It's a little bit different here. This is the Princess of Pentacles. Oh, by the way, this is the Wheel of the Year, Wheel of the Year tarot, year tarot. And she's counting the money and writing down contracts. So I think this is also too when we're having the hearings in the next 6 months. Gee, possibly a little bit of money changing hands, because she's counting the money and she's writing it all down. Oh, see what's underneath this. What's going to come out underneath? Pill one's cooperation and growth. So it's building. It's building. The information is building. Yeah, the information, it's building, it's growing, it's stabilizing. And we've got the whole world. The whole world. So I do think that we're going to have some more information. And then we've got the emotional new start. And being in the hopes and fears, I think that there's going to be people that there's a lot of people who are going to take, it is going to be fantastic, half and half. There's half the world's population, fantastic, but there's going to be a lot of fear involved.
Well, you wonder why. I'm just sort of having a look from last week. The amount of Politico, New York Magazine, The Guardian, a lot have had comments regarding Grusch and Coulthart interview. But then again, there's a lot of other ones calling, bold claims from former intelligence officer, a bit poo-pooing it, crazy people.
Yeah, well, as you're saying that, I've just pulled out the Seven of Swords. Yeah, Seven of Swords. There's still going to be a lot of people just really pushing us down. But, we've been listening to the podcast and watching the YouTube videos, and there's no way in the world that Mr. Coulthart would do this if he had even if it was a tiny smidgen of doubt. And he defends himself very, very well.
The only thing I would say, there are a few legit, The Guardian and a few other ones that are actually written about it, had some sort of comment, which is semi-positive, neutral, but semi-positive. And I think that's probably, if there's a lot of news media outlets pushing it and don't give up, I think it will keep going. It'll grab some memento. But mainstream media, nope.
Yeah, look, I've pulled out some more cards, some more clarifiers, and boy, I just the fighting and the fighting and then we've got the Hermit here, but there is light coming. But then I've also pulled here the contract cards or the Lovers cards. But to me, my Lovers card, that's the ETs up there, bringing us all together. So now we're certainly in for a bumpy ride. I'm going to bring out, which one am I doing? I've got my little pendulum here. We're going to ask some questions. Let's do some quick questions. So, Kerrie, what have you got there in questions?
Oh, will this the expose by Ross Coulthart and David Grusch that was on aired last week, will that expose get any air coverage on Australian TV?
Oh, okay. Oh, good evening. I'll just bring this down a little bit. Will the interview be aired on Australian TV in full? Will this interview be aired on TV in full on Australian TV? Yeah, we got a yes for that one. It's a big yes.
Good, good.
They'll be very interesting with trying to get Channel 7, Channel 9 and Channel 10 some money.
10 to stop infighting, to put some legit news on instead of backbiting each other. Our Australian media at the moment is in a really bad state.
Well, so are Australian politics. Australian politics and Australian media and the Australian real estate industry.
Pretty much like everywhere in the world, I suspect, at the moment.
Yeah. One thing that does concern both Kerrie and myself is the safety of David. So we'll just check to see if David will be safe. David Grusch be safe. David Grusch be safe. That's a yes, but also they just said to me, the guys upstairs or somebody just said to me that he was handpicked. He was the best person for the job. He was handpicked. Handpicked.
The right person at the right time.
Yeah, the right person, the right time.
Can I ask another one?
Yeah,
before you do?
Yep.
The powers that be, meaning the governments of the world, are they getting nervous? Are they feeling any pressure at the moment?
Governments of the world, are they feeling any pressure? Governments of the world, are they feeling any pressure? Yep, that's a big yes straight away. Big yes, but the pushback is going to be very strong because they don't
wonder how
the powers that be. They don't want to lose their money. They don't want to lose their power.
They're going to have to be really creative at disinformation then, aren't they? They're going to have to lift it up another notch for disinformation.
Yeah, it's just gone on too long. They're going to have to come clean. It's gone on for so many years. Really has to be dealt with.
Have you got another one?
I'll just check to see if Ross will be safe. Ross and his family. Will Ross be safe? Ross be safe. That's a yes. And when I saw an image of Ross then, he's got this massive, big, bright light behind him. Big, bright light, but big, bright light.
Don't let me sing.
Yeah, he's got this great big, very, very bright, protective light around him. And I also think that he's going to be really applauded for this. Really applauded. And I think that he'll he'll end up, which I hope will be Bryce as well. That's Bryce Sable. I just hope they're going to be rewarded for the hard work that they have done.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. So if anyone can get a, I don't know, what's the name of the, I think you repeated it, you said it before, the name of the journalist, the News Nation.
Yeah.
Regarding, and David Grusch.
Oh, that'll do.
Just recommend anyone and get a hold of it. Have a look at it. It's really, really, really interesting.
Yeah.
They talk about there's a couple of incidents that they talk about that I've actually never heard of. One was the magenta.
Oh, the initial crash
in Italy.
Yeah,
heard of that one.
I've heard of that one, and we've only sort of, well, the first one is the Roswell crash.
Yeah. And the Brazilian one, which I think is interesting. And I'm also interested in the one in Melbourne with the school children. That's another one that's really quite fascinating, because I think the Australian government may know what's going on as well.
Well, Ross actually talks about how Australia is possibly, allegedly, involved in the crash retrieval program.
Well, we're Five Eyes. Is it the Five Eyes? We're a part of that. But I think after the Melbourne incident, I think the Australian government should know what's going on. Maybe entertainment purposes only.
It is, yeah, I forgot to say that. Entertainment purposes only. Can you recall when the Melbourne one was? Because I've only heard about it myself once, and there's a lot of
it was in Melbourne. Yeah, it was in Melbourne. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I don't know, 40 years ago maybe. And all the school kids saw it, and the kids saw it. It landed in the bush right next to the school. It landed. The kids all saw it. The teachers saw it, and next minute, there's all the armies there, and it's really shut down really quickly. So, and it made the newspapers in Victoria. That it's really interesting to see all these kids witness it, but they were all shut down. Even school teachers were shut down that saw it. So it was suddenly there and then didn't happen. But you've still got people that are adults now talking about it. So I think that is really, really important for Australians as well. Yeah. But anyway, it's happened all over the world. Hopefully, will there be a lot of the predictions are that there will be a flyover.
I'll ask that question
by the end of the year.
Okay, because that's one thing that is definitely, if we have a major flyover, one of the young ladies that Bryce interviewed a few weeks ago, they did a survey on the internet asking people what would change their minds. And I think there's been so much jibber jabber over the years on the media. People want to see a flyover. So as you said, there has been a few people predicted. So let's see. Okay, will the world have a major flyover in the next 6 months? Will we have a major flyover in the next 6 months? Yeah, well, that's a yes. Just let that settle. Yeah, that's a big yes.
Wouldn't be. Will it be in America? It's supposed to be over California or America somewhere.
Will it
Is that correct? Would that be true?
Will it be over America? Will this flyover be over America? Yes, but I'm also feeling that there may be some smaller coordinated ones around the world, possibly for entertainment purposes only. Because we've only got a couple of minutes. Have you got any other questions before we?
Probably the last one would have to be, will there be disclosure, complete disclosure, alien intelligence by or before 2026? Full disclosure.
Will there be full disclosure by 2026? Will there be full disclosure by 2026? Yes, that's a yes. She's very, very agreeable tonight. But I would like to know, will there be evidence presented within 6 months? Will there be evidence presented in the next 6 months? Oh, she's shaken. Evidence presented in the next 6 months. Well, that's a yes too.
So
So
it's going to get very interesting.
It all looks very positive, and what I can see from the cards, you know, there's still going to be people that just going to they're going to keep on fighting this. They don't want to lose their power. They don't want to lose their money. They want to keep on doing things the old way. But hopefully, I think this is the start of a new beginning for all of us. I say in the beginning, hello, everyone, on this big blue crystal. It sounds like that there may be a few more.
We're not alone. We're not alone.
Little. Okay, thanks very much, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, Kerrie, and thanks very much, everybody, for watching, listening. Thank you. Good night. Now, where's this stop button? Hang on, I'm still here. Here we go. Bye.